Good morning, chat. My name is Penbu. I'm the programming, puzzle gaming, and music making VTuber on Linux, and today we are going over an announcement. Good morning, Karmakmoto. Welcome in. Good morning because I operate on universal greeting time, so it doesn't matter what time it is for anyone, including yourself. When you enter the chat, you say good morning. When you exit, you say good night. I've been doing this since the start. But yeah, as you can see here, we have an announcement to make. The stream isn't going to be very long, I don't think. No more than an hour, probably closer to 30 minutes. But yeah, well, it'll take as long as it takes. And also, if you have any questions during the stream, you can always ask either in chat or in the Q&A form that's pinned in both chats on YouTube and Twitch. So, to start off with, I quit. 539. Now, instead of spending time figuring out what time of day it is for every member of the channel, we spend time explaining newcomers' benefits of UGT. Yes. Well, thankfully, you only have to do that once per person. And you can get somebody else to do it as well. But yeah, so what is happening? I quit. And specifically, I quit my job. And I'm taking a career break for a year. This is not generally something you'd want to do, but in my case, it feels like it makes sense. When? I'm probably going to speed through these slides. My last day was last Friday, but I actually put in my notice in mid-November. Most people put in their notice 2 weeks before they leave. I gave 2.5 months of notice. This is not something you generally want to be doing. Yeah, at least in my jurisdiction, and I think in other jurisdictions as well. Your employer, when you give your notice, doesn't have to keep you for the amount of time that you give. So if you give, say, a month's notice or 2 months notice or 2.5 months, as I put it, there is a minimum amount of time that they need to pay you, and beyond that time they don't need to keep you. Actually, they could terminate you on the spot too, or like they could let you go, but they do have to pay you for the amount, the minimum amount of time. So if they wanted to, they could decide that after that minimum amount of time, let's say it was a few weeks, they could decide they don't need me anymore, and they'll just let me go. They'll just let me go at that time, because I had already given my intent to leave, and that means that I should be okay leaving whenever. That's what the law says. But for me, I figured my company likes me enough that, and I like the company enough that I want to make sure that the transition is smooth. And because it was November, you know, going into the holidays, there was the Christmas party early December. I didn't want the awkward situation where everyone says, you know, good working with you and hope to work with you again, well, next year, whatever people say. You know, I'm looking forward to working with you again next year. And then, you know, I'm sitting there feeling, well, but that's not going to happen. So I figured, may as well get the news out early, and you know, if I'm sitting here on this decision, then I may as well, if I had made this decision already, to give them notice. And the reason why I gave so much notice was there's a project wrapping up, and I wanted to make sure that that project was wrapped up. Also, didn't want to create too much rush during the Black Friday season, and also the holidays. Transitioning over the holidays is you want to try to wrap things up during the holidays and not try to stir things up, I guess, if that makes sense. So I figured January would be the best time to go. It gives them way more than enough time to find someone, and they did end up figuring out what to do for my replacement. And I think the transition was smooth because in my last week, I barely did anything. And that shows that we managed to offload my duties to my replacements in such a way that I didn't have to do anything. I mean, I still ended up doing stuff on the last week, but nothing significant. And so, big question, of course, is why? In short here, I think it can all be summed up as, I don't know what I want to do anymore. A full week in the office for nothing. Yeah, so what did I do in my last week? I was writing my farewell email, which is pretty lengthy, about 3 to 4 paragraphs. I was also... They had asked me to upload my entire laptop to Google Drive, and that took hours, no, days, and didn't even finish. Not that there was much of anything importance there anyway, because it was mostly Git repos. So they got all the useless node modules. Rain, welcome in. Yeah, so they got all the useless node modules. Didn't even finish, but I figured I've been at the company for so long. I've been there for about roughly 7 years. That there may have been some files and branches that may or may not be important that I never pushed up. So better safe than sorry, and they can deal with deleting what's not important there. But yeah, so I've had my fingers in a lot of stuff, and that's also why I gave so much notice, because there's a lot of stuff that I've accumulated over the years, a lot of responsibilities I've accumulated over the years. I went from a intermediate developer, then got promoted to senior, and then tech lead, and then tech lead of 2 projects. So I was handling a lot of stuff. And that actually goes into transitions into here too. Because I was handling a lot of stuff, there was a lot of stress. There was a lot of responsibilities and things that needed to be done. And in our case, I felt that we didn't have enough people to delegate to. All the devs were always busy doing something. And there were tasks that I perhaps needed to get done, but wasn't able to offload to anyone, so I just ended up having to do it. And, that's how it is in a startup life. So the company I was working for is a startup, and startups are always a little bit understaffed. So it's not unexpected. By the way, if any of you here are from the workplace, don't out me. But yeah, rest assured, I think I don't think there's anything here that you probably haven't heard. But yeah, so I was a startup, understaffed, lots of work to be done, not enough people, a lot of the responsibilities since I was at a high enough level that a lot of it was on me to do. But on top of that, as I point here, I don't know if I want to be doing tech stuff anymore. And that makes it difficult when your job is tech. And so with the lack or declining motivation to do this kind of stuff, and the piling responsibilities that comes with it, there's a tendency to I wouldn't say slack, but maybe drag my feet on certain things. So things like making diagrams, or writing tickets, or actually even coding sometimes. For those of you who haven't been in my coding streams, I've mentioned a lot that I don't really like coding all that much. I like programming, and I like solving problems, but coding, like the hands-on keyboards, feels a little bit dragging. And perhaps that's because I'm working in JavaScript. Perhaps in the code base that I was working in and overseeing, perhaps it was because it was React. I don't like React. I've mentioned that previously in the some of the Svelte streams. And so perhaps all that compounded, along with me not knowing what direction I want to go into my career anymore led to me dragging my feet a little bit, and so that caused some many tasks to fall behind. And my manager was very understanding that there's a lot of stuff and I couldn't finish them all, and he has the belief that you can really only handle 2 things at once, and there were way more things than 2 on my plate. And so there was a time, it was mid-November, he sat me down and he said, is there something we can do about this? And then had me talk with HR. This isn't the first time I've been feeling like this, so I've actually been feeling like this for years now. And the first time we had dealt with this, it was 2021. I took a 3-week break. It helped, and I think it definitely was the right decision for the time. But clearly, over the years, something wasn't quite being solved. And I think that part of that is stemming from I don't know what I want to do. And so I'm taking this year off to try to figure out what that is. What do I have on my next slide? I already forgot. We're going to come back here. Yeah, so I'm going to take this year to figure out what that is. I have the streaming now as something that I can do during that year. And if I had quit a lot earlier, I don't think it would have been as productive because I wasn't doing this. Whereas this gives me something to keep busy. So what does this mean? I'm now officially neat. And the meme of the full-time VTuber is real. So it's kind of funny because I started off as a VTuber, or rather before I started as a VTuber, there was always the meme of me becoming a VTuber because I watched so much VTuber content. And I said that it wouldn't happen. But then it happened. And of course the next logical thing that would come up as a meme is I'm doing this full-time VTuber. And I actually did have this as a possibility when I started VTubing. So it was 2022 when the project, or like this whole VTubing project started, with all the ideas and all that. It took us about 1.5 years to actually get up and running. So the debut was October 2023. I think we started with the ideas in March or February 2022. And so it's a long time coming. And of course that was after the whole break thing in 2021. So I took the 3-week break in November 2021. And then soon after, like a few months after, the idea for, I think my artist had jokingly pitched making a VTuber model for me in December, like end of December 2024 or 2021. And so, well, I mean, she was how serious. So 2021, I took the 3-week break, and then my artist had approached me about, or had half jokingly approached me about making a VTuber model. Stuff happened, project actually went going, and then it took us until October 2023 to actually debut. If I did leave, say in 2022, while not streaming, I don't think, I mean I said this, I don't think it would have been as effective. But going into this VTuber project, I had the idea that this could potentially move into something full-time, but it was very much not realistic. And I acknowledge that it's not realistic, and it was more of a if there was an opportunity to pursue it and it was realistic, then it is a possible avenue. And while it's still kind of not realistic now, it is something that because I have the opportunity to explore, I am now exploring. NEET, by the way, that's not the key. NEET means not in education, employment, or training. You'll see this a lot in Japanese in Japanese anime, but I think it's actually a British term. VS, welcome in. I'm a full-time VTuber too. You got this, Penbu. Keep going. Yes, VS here is indeed a full-time VTuber. Yeah, good luck. I'll need that too. But there's what was I gonna say? I'd say you have the education part covered. Well, education here, usually what they mean is like you're going to school for stuff. So I'm not actually going to school. I am educated, at least, I think. But I'm not currently going to school. Frankly, I don't plan to go back. I am pretty done with taking tests and taking courses and stuff. So even for like casual stuff, I prefer not to take courses. Should you do this? Dr. Hessel, now employed in the Grand Adventure content. Woohoo! Yes, indeed. So I guess in a way, depending on how you look at this, this is self-employment. But I also approach this saying that I didn't quit my job to become a full-time VTuber. I quit my job, and that allows me to like do VTubing full-time for a while. So there's a subtle nuance there, but I guess this may count as self-employment. I would definitely, if I get any income from this, which I am earning a little bit on the Twitch side, I do have to report it to the CRA as self-employment income. So I guess it does kind of count. But yeah, should you do this? Probably not. The advice for VTubers who are just starting out, and for indie VTubers, is always don't quit your day job. And I still recommend that too. But I mean, clearly I'm not following that. It's not the first time I've been haven't followed my own advice here. I think the follow-up there is but maybe, right? It depends on your circumstances. If you're in a position where you have an opportunity and you can afford that opportunity, then maybe it makes sense to actually take that opportunity, because you never know when that opportunity is going to come up again, or if you're still going to have it. And so in a case like this, where I am approaching 30, or according to part of my range, I might already be 30. The older you get, the less opportunity you have for this kind of stuff. And I don't have a lot of stuff tying me down. And the next time that I might get to explore this kind of stuff is probably after retirement. So I have the opportunity now, I have the time now, and I have the funds to keep me afloat for at least a year, hopefully, if I mathed right. And so now is the time to do it. Yes, I never had a job to begin with. It's alright, so you don't follow the advice. And you mentioned you didn't want to look for other jobs, at least for a while. Somehow I thought you were approaching 40. I do find that I emit an air of maturity at times, and so I can see how you might have thought that. But yeah, I don't really want to look for a job, at least for a year. Whether it's going to be a year or it's going to be shorter or going to be longer, it depends. I don't think I need to plan necessarily for that yet, but I do want to take some time to rest, because it has been 7 years working at the same place. And then also, give me some proper time to actually try this out. Because I felt that while I was working, and perhaps I wouldn't have felt this if I went into the office more often. Although that has other issues because the office was like an hour's commute. But many times when I was working from home, I'd feel like an idea pops up in my head for streaming, and I want to, or something that's not streaming, and I want to try it out. But I got work to do, and so it feels like work is keeping me from doing things that I want to be doing. And so I kept feeling that more and more, and at some point it was just, enough is enough. I have to do this. And so, something's got to give, and this time it's work. And at no point should it be that you will be the one giving, because if you break, then you have bigger problems. Fi, welcome in. Good luck. Thank you. If anyone from math right, it'd be you. To be honest, I did run some rough numbers, so I think it's probably okay. But they're only rough numbers. But then again, a year is a long time, so rough numbers is probably fine. Is money an issue? I don't think so. To be honest, I probably have too much of my assets in cash, which is going to be handy for now. But I should look into something like GIC laddering, so that some of it is so that it's growing while it's sitting there. You grow so much in a year. Yes, that is the hope. Without work tying me down, it gives me time to explore and self-seek and all that kind of stuff, and find things out about myself that I would not otherwise find. Way too liquid, yeah. Maybe one stream on stocks and finances might be in order. I have no authority over to teach that kind of stuff, but I can maybe go through some of the stuff that I do. GIC, by the way, for those of you not in Canada, it is an investment vehicle that is extremely safe. You put in a certain amount of money, and then it's locked in there for an amount of time for the term, and then out comes the same amount of money plus some interest. I don't remember what they call that in the US, but they do have something similar. So what does this mean going forward? Hopefully more consistent streams. One of the things that, if you've noticed over the past few months, streams have been very inconsistent. Maybe one stream a week, or maybe it ends up being no streams. And sometimes I wouldn't get a schedule out until the Thursday or even Friday of the week, when most of the week is already done. And that was because I did not know what my energy levels were during the week because of work, and what I would have the capacity and the energy and the drive to do. Like, for example, when was the last time I did a technical stream, or like a programming stream? It's been weeks now. I can't call myself the programming VTuber if I don't program. And so hopefully we'll see more programming streams as well. Now that it's not my day job, I don't feel like it's more work. Is that going to happen immediately? Probably not. But I do hope to see more programming streams in the future, and more consistent streams as we go. So we're going to try to go back to 3 streams a week. Still largely going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 7:30 Eastern, with some variations as necessary, but that is the plan. Go back to the original schedule. Over here it's a bond. Bonds are different, but bonds are very similar. We have bonds as well, but it is a. I think CDs are correct. The I don't remember what CD stands for. I know the D stands for deposits. Yeah. But yeah, we have bonds here too. Bonds are different because you can actually sell the bonds. So unlike a GIC or a CD. You can't, with a GIC, you can't, unless it's a cashable GIC, you can't sell it without incurring a penalty. A certificate of deposit, yes, that's what it says. Thanks. With a GIC, you can't cash it without incurring a penalty, but with a bond, you can sell the bond. Most people probably wouldn't sell a bond, but if you were a little bit more adventurous, you would have the option to. CDs. Also on the list that I want to do is more streams that require prep. One of the things that stuck out to me before was that one stream where we did logic puzzles with Prologue. Because I had work, I didn't have the time to properly prep for that, and in my opinion, it turned out pretty awful. But I don't know. Some people said that the debugging experience was valuable insights, but from my perspective, I could have and should have prepared more for it, because we spent half the stream just figuring out how to do things in debugging. I think in the UK it's just a fixed rate savings account. Possibly, but I think a savings account, well, if your savings accounts are anything like what we have here, you can put money in and then take money out, maybe with limited withdrawals. But it would be, for GIC, it's the entire thing locked in for a set amount of time. Financial audit VTuber, StocksTuber. You know, I would watch somebody who would like that. I know we've gotten a lot of educational VTubers pop up. You know, someone who's in finance would be great. But more streams will require prep, so there's that. But also, I've been wanting to do a lot of streams that have to do with teaching. Speaking of educational VTubers, so things like I've been alluding to a series in which I walked you through how to write a composition, where I take you from how to read sheet music, how to use MuseScore, and then walk you through how to write a very simple piece, and then build on that piece to something more and more complex. And so that is something that requires a lot of prep, and now I have the time to do that. Also, a couple things like actually I don't remember, but there are more streams like yeah, so other presentations like these, because it takes me a while to do these presentations, to make slides and everything. There was another stream I wanted to do about say going over software licenses. I'm obviously not a lawyer, but I have done a lot of research on software licenses and how to apply them and what all the different ones mean, and that is a stream that I want to do, and it requires a lot of prep because it requires slides and just organizing a ton of information. A finance video is coming soon. Probably not, to be honest. There was one time I talked about finance, and Jellycode had given me some, would I say, stern words about me being somewhat wrong. So if I were to do any finance videos or streams or anything like that, I think I'd have to do a lot of research, which, to be fair, I have time now. But maybe we can, I don't know, maybe we can do a stock simulator for a stream and explain things through that. Another thing I want to do is more video uploads. Things like automaton covers, because I can't be the automaton VTuber without putting out automaton content. And to be honest, I was planning to do an automaton karaoke stream at the end of December, just like I did last year, but not enough time to prep because of work. You know, this is a running theme, and also similarly because of all, you know, the whole ending in January thing. I haven't been able to prep for a Valentine's automaton karaoke this year either, so that may or may not happen. We'll see if I manage to get anything prepped before then. But at the same time, I don't want to rush myself, so there's still a lot of stuff happening this week, because I may have overbooked myself a little bit, and there's a lot of stuff happening next week. So as much as I would like to do an automaton karaoke for Valentine's, it's not looking so great. But hopefully within the next month or two, there should be one coming up. Worst case, we wait until the birthday week. That's end of April. But it would be nice to have one sooner. But also things like, so not only the cover uploads, but also things like clips. I have a clipping channel reserved, and I haven't done anything with it. So not only clips of me, but also want to do clips of others. And that requires a lot of prep in terms of finding stuff to clip and then actually clipping them. That is something I want to do on stream as well. Show people how to clip. Of course, I'm not a clipper by any means, but I do know the tools that, or rather one set of tools that people do use. Actually, to say that I'm not a clipper is not true either. I have clipped at some things, just not standalone videos. But yeah, that is, expect some clipping streams soon-ish as well. I don't know when we're going to start doing that, but I do want to start doing that. Progress on stalled projects. I may have gotten some influence from fan subbers who are famous for being for stalling projects. But to give you some context here, looking back, we had finished that composition back in September. I wanted to get that out by the anniversary in October. And now, almost 6 months later, we still don't have it released. So that is almost top priority for getting out. It was also, what's it, Suisse's Pieces arrangement that we did for Concert Band. We finished that in November. And it is now February. You know, it's not half a year, but it's still like 4 months roughly. That also needs to get out, and I need to find I have some art ideas for that. I need to get in touch with an artist. Correction, I have gotten in touch with an artist, or I've sent them an email. I haven't heard back, so I need to poke them again. Caught, yes. A couple other projects too, because I think there was we did a few recording streams where I didn't upload the results, and you know, maybe it's worth uploading those. And we'll see. I don't think everything necessarily needs to be uploaded, but it would be nice to have something to show for it. And of course, now that the entire day is available to me, without a whole 8-hour chunk being taken out, I can now collab with people in other time zones, and so that includes people in Europe, particularly, because that people in Europe during this time, and you know, thanks to VS for dropping in when it's so late, they're generally sleeping. Or rather, it's the time when they should be sleeping, at the time that we usually stream here. And so now, without work in the way, and work hours, I can participate in collabs where it would have happened during work hours. And for those of you working, it's often not a problem because in the past when I've streamed in weekdays during work hours, I think that might have been a handful of times, like a couple times. You're watching during work anyway. So, and I mean, I do that too. I'm working from home. Nobody's really checking on anything. I can just put a stream on and watch while I work. So, I don't think while I still plan to keep this 7:30 p.m. slot for most streams, I now have the flexibility to go outside that slot. And if plans do work out, there may be something coming up. Just a lot of stuff to prep for that, though. So what goals do I have for the immediate future? As I said, polish and release looking back because it's been almost half a year. Polish and release pieces, again, because it's been slightly less than that. Work on the mix for all you've done. So for this one, if you recall, we had done almost a sprint of composition streams where we tried to finish this in time for the holidays because the person I was getting to do the violin, to get to record the violin, only had their violin for the holidays, and so we needed to make sure that we had that finished and recorded. The piano part recorded so that they can play the violin and record it. And now we have the violin recording, but it is now on me to mix and contact another artist to make some art for this. So this one's going to be underway, hopefully. We'll see how long it takes. I don't think the release is going to be in February. Probably going to be in March. Hopefully not April, but we'll see. And then, of course, finish converting this website to Svelte. We're almost done. This website has been a project for over a year now. Actually, has it been a year? Close enough. We've been working on this for a long time, and it is frankly unacceptable that it's taken this long. But considering programming is my day job, don't have the energy nor the desire to really work on it because it was my day job. It's kind of difficult to want to do it. But as I said before, now that it's not my day job, hopefully we can actually finish this thing. Now I may, just so that it goes faster and don't have the pressure of being entertaining or being educational, it may end up being finished in Discord. We'll see, but I do want to finish this at some point. And by immediate future here, I mean something within the next 1 to 3 months. And then more monetization options, because obviously I don't have income, so I'm gonna try to open up some monetization streams somewhere. We already do have stream elements. I don't remember the command for this. Did it donate? No, it wasn't. Oh, it is. No, not that one. Don't do that one. That was for the charity stream. That is now closed. I don't remember. I don't remember. Oh no, it's tip. Tip. That's what it is. Not throne. Throne is one of the things that I want to set up. Maybe you could sell that composition tutorial as a course. That is a possible. Yeah, that's possible. I would have to clean it up and stuff, but also I find it difficult to think about things to monetize because my ideals kind of get in the way. I like to have knowledge out in the open, free for anyone to to access, and for content to be easily and freely remixable and changed and all that. And sometimes that becomes a little bit incompatible with or makes making money off of it a little bit harder. It's kind of the problem of open source, where the things out there, it's freely available, but that also means that you have less incentive to pay for it. Pay what you want option, yes. So that is the plan. So for example, the compositions, the renders of the compositions, I'm hoping maybe to set up a Bandcamp or something, so that for anyone who does want to pay for those, you have the option to. They're still going to be largely free on my website, and of course on YouTube. But if you want to pay for it, then you would have the option to. Okay, this is actually Stream Elements. All right, what is this command? Where is this? Bought Excel sheets from creators and Coffee. And the process was really easy. Yeah, Coffee is another thing I was thinking about, but it feels like it's kind of redundant with Stream Elements, because I do have the ability to accept tips through Stream Elements. Tipping settings, that's just it. But the one thing that Stream Elements doesn't do is recurring donations. So Patreon is another option that I could be looking into. Because that means that Patreon would allow me to have a monthly recurring membership outside of YouTube, because I don't have a monetization enabled on YouTube yet. We don't have enough subscribers nor the watch hours. And then over on Twitch, we do have monetization open. You do have the ability to sign up for subscriptions, or to buy subscriptions at tier 1, 2, and 3. I don't think I have any benefits for 2 and 3, but tier 1 does unlock some of the emotes. Ashalisha, welcome in. Been a while. Can't sell additional content on Stream Elements. Not custom stuff. So yeah, I guess if there is stuff that I want to sell as like items, then Coffee might be something to look into. Boosted channel point earnings. Thank you. Oh yeah. Sorry, no, you're talking about Twitch. Yes. So Twitch, if you are subscribed, you do earn channel points at a higher rate. Not that you can spend it on much right now, anyway. I think right now we have highlight my message, unlock a random sub, send message in sub only mode, which I don't have enabled. Choose an emote to unlock, and then modify a single emote. So I mean, YouTube is my main platform, and that's why I haven't really given much attention to the Twitch redeems. But if any of those do interest you, like having the automaton emotes is pretty nice, and being able to send those in other chats is good. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, that is an option. Imagine get the I reviews your code roleplay ASMR pack on Coffee. I do want to do a code review stream at some point. The problem with that is that I need more people to submit stuff. One of the things I was thinking of was a bash script review, where I tear apart your bash script and tell you how to make it better, but also roast you, because there's a lot of bad scripting advice out there, and that results in a lot of bad scripts. But I don't want to tear people apart too much, or rather, no, I wouldn't be tearing people apart. I'd be tearing the script apart. Very important difference there. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out where is this. Was it under commands? I think it was under commands. Chat commands. Did they get row? No, yeah, tip. I think I tried this earlier. Okay, let me try to make this Penbu VT, that's what it is. I think. Yeah, okay, no, this is it. So that's the tipping page. If any of you would like to tip, obviously it is, as I say in my description. Oh right, yeah, it's in the description. I should have just checked there. As I say in my description, it is still completely optional. Despite me not having income now, you know, like I said, I have enough money to keep me afloat. So, while it's appreciated, you absolutely do not need to send in a tip there. I'm a curious case because Twitch is my main platform for chatting and interacting because of point redeems and emotes, but I definitely prefer YouTube if I'm going to learn. Yeah, that makes sense. I know YouTube has a lot better chat interactions, assuming the streamer does have it set up, and also because of the emotes. YouTube doesn't have emotes unless you're monetized and you're subscribed. Or nowhere close to that. Yeah, what else is on monetization? There was one more. Ah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, right. More Tetris content on the second channel. If you were in Monica's Ray's stream, you may have seen me mention something about figuring out how to do more Tetris without doing it on stream. And that, if I may hide this the screen here. That's not the one. This is the one. I have a new channel set up. There's nothing here yet. I was hoping to get something in by the stream so I can show you something, but the idea here is that because I want to, for example, get the Tetris 99 daily tickets, or I need to keep up with playing at least one game a week on Tetraleague to keep my rank up. I want to be able to do that, but I also don't want to flood my main channel with Tetris content, because I am still a variety streamer. And having daily uploads of Tetris is going to be too much. Whether this is actually going to turn out to be daily or not is going to be up to whether I can maintain that. But at least the plan is on a regular basis, I upload, say, a hour long video of me playing the game, so that my progress is still recorded. So, but I don't need to have the pressure. Maybe not necessarily pressure, because I don't really care about the pressure, I think. But I'm not too worried about overfilling my my other channel, like this channel. I actually had this idea before debut. I was thinking that maybe I would have a second channel just for this kind of stuff, and turns out it is actually a good solution for this. So maybe starting next week you'll start seeing content uploaded here. So well, we'll see. Also, you know, a nice touch here. I was working on this last night. I was figuring, how do I make this different from the main channel? And I figured with stacking and blocks, it would be good to have it a little bit more square. But this might be a new aesthetic. I don't know. I like this. Aiming to win something at the next Stacking Awards. Not particularly, but if somebody nominates me, I wouldn't say no, I think. Also, Jellycode, welcome in. But yeah, I guess with this this new channel, that would position me as more of a Tetris content creator, and so would give me more of a reason to be nominated. Monica Ray, I think, did put me in the nominations for her form when she did it, but I wasn't nominated enough by other people, I think, to make it onto the final nominations. Now I need that with circles inside the square for Lego instructions. You know, I think that could be doable because I made this with GIMP and the pixelize filter, and then I applied the unsharp mask on it. The pixelize filter can do shapes that aren't squares. I think it can do circles. So you should be able to stack one on top, I think. We can play around with it. I guess that's the end. So questions. And I see we have more questions coming in, so I'll put those in. But if any of you want to ask more questions, the link to the Q&A form is pinned in the chat. You're free to ask anything. But I'll start with the two that we had so far. Find a random item in your drawer or desk and tell us its story. So I don't have a picture here, but I do have this. Actually, maybe we can find a picture. Give me a bit. 8-bit do SN30 Pro. This one, not this one. Wired. USB. Yeah, okay. So this thing, it is a controller, effectively a pro controller that has all the inputs and stuff. It goes out through USB. And so I got this because I run a Tetris club, or I used to run a Tetris club at work, and for Tetrio, normally use the keyboard, but I have been playing Tetris on a Switch with a controller, and so I got really used to controller, and it was very difficult for me to adjust to using a keyboard. And it's still fairly difficult for me. And so I bought a controller so that I can plug it in, because Tetrio does support controllers, and so I can just play like normal. And through USB, because I didn't want to have to deal with Bluetooth. The Switch controllers, the Joy-Cons, can be connected to a computer through Bluetooth. And I have done it before, but the reason why I got this instead of just using the Joy-Cons is because the input delay was a little bit too much, to the point where it's unplayable. And then also thinking ahead, now that I have the streaming PC, which doesn't have Bluetooth, then I would either need to get a Bluetooth adapter, or because it's USB, I can just plug it in. And that's what I do for the Tetris streams. I just plug it in. And so yeah, so I got this because of Tetris Club at work. I think the Tetris Club, although the leaders are not as high level as I am, I think they're still in good hands. They have the drive to play, and that's the important part. What shall become of the newfound time? More streaming, various hobbies, Rip Van Winkle roleplay. Well, certainly not the last one. But as I mentioned before, yeah, more streaming. I think for now we're going to keep it at the 3 streams a week. But it will allow me to have another streaming day if I would want to, or just other times to stream as well. As a kid, I played most of my games on a computer with only keyboards, so I prefer it. Yeah, that makes sense. I think using a keyboard does make you faster if you're playing Tetris, because you can input the keys independently. So for example, with the D-pad, up is the hard drop key, which you can't press at the same time if you're moving the piece around. But up is really nice to have as an independent key because it makes you go faster. You can hard drop while doing other things. But because my thumb has to move from the keys, like the various parts of the D-pad, I slow down a lot because my thumb has to move that much. So if I didn't have to do that, then great. But I'm stuck doing that. And I could, in theory, remap the keypads, or rather the inputs, because you can do that on Tetrio, but then I end up with a configuration that's incompatible with other official Tetris games. Sometimes I use a PS3 controller with emulators, but the software was an absolute pain and is not the best controller. Understandable. Let me just get these next ones in. We have 4 more. Just gotta wait for these things to render. That or I don't care about the visuals and just do it. But I think I would rather have the visuals so that we have it. But yeah, once again, if you would like to ask a question, the link is pinned in chat. We'll be taking questions until there are no more. 8-bit 2 controllers are much better. Got a good one there. Yeah, I have heard good things about this one. I feel like I could have maybe gotten a slightly better one, but this one I was looking for a relatively cheap one, and I think the more expensive ones were a little bit outside what I was looking for. So this one is a pretty decent controller, and does more or less what I needed to do. And this style is nice too, because so they have other styles where they have grips on the sides, just like they would for say a PlayStation controller. But this flat design means that I can use it kind of like an NES controller, and do rolling and stuff, which is useful because now that I've started picking up classic Tetris in some form or another, it means I can now start to learn how to roll. Okay, that was almost all the questions that we have so far. I really should not have put it in this way. Q&A. I at least have a script to generate them, so it's not like I'm putting things into EG Sub like I used to. Okay, now I just gotta put them into OBS. See, about a year ago, I would take care to keep up appearances a little bit more. Now that I'm a year in, I don't care as much. Alright, so those are in. What will happen to your work clubs? Tetris Club, for example. So, I left the company. Actually, backtrack a little bit. So for those of you who don't know, my company was very lax about social stuff, and actually they actively encouraged us to to do social initiatives, and a lot of it was influenced by me because I did a lot of the initiatives. So back in the day, before the lockdowns, I did Anime Club, I did Mahjong Club, Japanese Lessons Club, which I had no business doing for the amount of Japanese that I knew, but considering they were all starting from scratch and starting from nothing, at least I knew enough to lift them from nothing. And then pandemic hits, Anime Club died, Mahjong Club died, Japanese Lessons Club died. Pretty much everything that I was running at the time died. And then about 2 years ago, I think it's been about 2 years now, I started the Tetris Club because I started playing Tetris in 2021. And that's been going on ever since. And so I think that's the only active club that I oversaw at the time that I left. and so I handed that off to some of the regulars. They can figure out who the leadership is. I gave it to 2 of them. One of them is probably gonna take on as like the leader proper. But it does sound like they want to continue it, and hopefully they'll continue and get better. You know, maybe in a year they'll be U ranks. There was also another thing. So I had started a channel back in the day as well, called Quote Grab, where we basically quote employees quote each other, and I was a large contributor to that channel, although other people did contribute, and I hope that it also doesn't die. One of the things that I noted there was I realized on my last week that it is actually kind of important from a social perspective, because if you have a channel where people are quoting others and they enjoy reading the quotes and the quotes are interesting, that means that to have that kind of thing, you need 3 things. 1, you need to have people who are talking to each other. 2, you have people who are saying interesting things. And then 3, you have somebody who's actually listening to be able to quote it. And so if you have that kind of environment, then you create a culture in which people are talking to each other, people are saying interesting things, and people are listening. And that kind of thing makes the environment a lot better in terms of communication, and a lot more interesting to be in. A lot more fun. And so actually I've been thinking about maybe putting a quotes channel in the server, in the Penbu server, just to maybe try to encourage that kind of thing. The reason why I haven't is because I didn't feel like there was much that people were saying that were quotable, especially not coming from me, because I was hardly being quoted in that channel, and I in my opinion it was because I wasn't saying a whole lot of things, but maybe it was just because nobody bothered to quote, because I was quoted coming out, like in my last week, and somebody did say that I should be quoted more often. So I don't know, maybe it's worth setting one of those up. Next, not that one, this one. Will you keep in touch with your former colleagues? We do actually have an alumni server, or something equivalent to it, where a bunch of the current and former employees are in a Discord server together. So I do expect to pop in there once in a while, and a lot of them, I did give the link to my my YouTube channel in my farewell email, and I'm sure some of them have started following. So if you're there, hello, don't out me, but I hope you enjoy the streams. And yeah, given that it's so easy to keep in touch with them, I don't see why not. Actually, everyone was telling me I should go visit Japan while I have the time, and maybe that'll happen. I do want to I do also actually want to go to Offkai. Maybe I should start seriously planning for that, because Offkai is a VTuber convention, and given that I'm a VTuber, it seems very topical, relevant, and I should probably do it at least once. You could do Offkai in Japan vlogs. Yes, that is an option. I haven't decided what to. I haven't decided how I want to enjoy it yet. Japan, it feels like, yes, it feels like something that I should do only because it's also relevant. But personally, I'm not much of a traveler, so I don't really know, and I'm not really one to sightsee either. If I were to go to Japan, I think it'd be mostly for the food. But I don't know. Thinking about it, it's just, what am I gonna do there? But yeah, perhaps it makes sense to do like a video series or like a vlog series on it. Or maybe for Akai, I would just enjoy it for what it is. But we'll see. I'll keep that in mind. Make sure to take a good camera with me, or a phone with a good camera, I guess. And then make sure I have a lot of enough space. How will this affect your sleep schedule? Oh, this one's a good one. So prior to this, when I was working, I was getting up at 8:50 to go to a 9 a.m. meeting, and then go to sleep. I guess it depends on the day. There were times where I woke up I slept really early and then woke up really early. And there were times where I would sleep late and then wake up like very close to 9 o'clock. And so now without a schedule, without something where it is mandatory to have a schedule, I think what's probably going to happen is I'm going to settle into something of a more natural sleep pattern that's probably based on the sun. We'll see. Although, based on the sun in the morning at least, but maybe not in the evening. Because if I'm streaming from 7:30 until like 10 or 11, the sun's already way down by then. So we'll see. I had also realized that maybe it is worth keeping an alarm. I'm still undecided on that one, but maybe it's worth keeping an alarm because the later that I wake up during the day, the more it feels like I've wasted the day. So it may be worth waking up in the morning just so that it doesn't feel like that. And then just take a nap during the day or something. During work hours, actually, I did often take a lunch nap, which I think is pretty common in the Mediterranean and like Mexico and stuff. They have a siesta period where they sleep for a little bit during the afternoon. And I watched a video recently on sleep patterns prior to the Industrial Revolution and electric lighting. Apparently, a biphasic sleep pattern was more natural, where the sun goes down, you go to sleep for a few hours, wake up in the middle of the night, stay up for a couple hours, and go back to sleep until morning. And apparently that was natural. And who knows, maybe that'll happen to me too. It's certainly something that I've experienced in the past, where I go to sleep at, say, like 10 p.m. and wake up at 2 or 3 and stay up for a few hours and go back to sleep. So I'm certainly no stranger to doing that. But now that I know that it might be natural, maybe we'll just let it happen. Aren't you still employed under Kets? Yes, technically. I don't know how much he wants that to keep it. I don't know how much he wants to keep it a secret from the CRA though. There he is, but. Yes, but also at the same time, he's not paying me, so does that really count as an employment? I don't know. It's so annoying to see all stores closed from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. because of siestas. I see how it would be good for you. Yeah, there's you always have to balance between, because it's people running these stores. Sometimes things are closed because people are doing things. Ket lore tax fraud, you never know. But yeah, for example, banks, they close. I mean, I think they've gotten a lot better these days, but they used to close like very close to 5 o'clock. Or like other stores, they're open from 9 to 5. I'm working from 9 to 5. I cannot go to your store. I cannot go to your bank. Because your working hours overlap with my working hours. How am I supposed to get anything done? Am I supposed to just take a day off and then go to the bank or something? But now they're a lot better. I think they open later, and we have the convenience of online banking now, so it's not as much of an issue these days. Nowadays, banks close at 2 p.m. Really? It's quite extreme. But yeah. Online stuff is very nice. You have to ask for time off for your job to visit the bank. Yeah, it's, I don't know how I feel about that. I have asked for time off for, say, dentist appointments and stuff because they also have similar hours. Although I think they're open on Saturdays. Basically, all the physical banks near me are like never open. Yeah, all right. But yeah, dentist. So I do like to take days off for dentist appointments rather than half days, or just not take the day off and just make up the time, because it takes me a while to get there. I don't have a car. I don't have a license anymore, and so I have to bike or bus there. It takes a good amount of time, forward and back. And then you spend a bunch of maybe an hour at the dentist, getting your teeth cleaned. And the appointment's going to be in the middle of the day, so it makes sense to me to just take the day off and spend the rest of the day relaxing. Xenotime, welcome in. Basically, oh, I misread that, but yes, welcome in. I guess everyone just does online, so they're just like, why bother? Yeah, some banks are just completely online too. I have a few banks who are like that. They have some physical presence because they're borrowing another bank's ATMs. But apart from that, everything else is just online. And actually, a lot of these online banks are owned by a larger bank that has physical locations. What do you mean anymore? How do you lose your license? So it might have been 10 years ago now. I had signed up for a license, and I had driven twice, and both times were in a parking lot, and that's in part because I didn't have time to practice because I was doing school, and then afterwards I was doing work, and I was too tired to really do anything. I guess I had technically had access to a car, and so I could have probably practiced if I wanted to, but I didn't. Being so tired all the time, I didn't feel like it was right to be in such a heavy vehicle where I needed to be alert. And I don't know. Then I moved out, and COVID happened. Or actually, COVID happened, and then I moved out. And then just there was nowhere I needed to go that needed a car, and so my driver's license expired 5 years ago, and I never bothered to renew it, and so I just swapped it out for the provincial ID card instead. And you can only have one or the other. You can't have both. And so I figured, if I'm not going to drive anyway, and I'm not going to have a car, because owning a car is very expensive, I can maybe use that for something else. And if I really do need a car, there's always the rideshare services. Yeah, public transport is decent, I guess, relatively speaking, in this area. But I also have a bike, and the bike gets me pretty much anywhere I need to go. So I have options. I have the train as an option if I need to go out of the city. I have my bike for anywhere that's bikeable, and then I have public transit for anywhere that's a little bit further away. So I'm in a place where it's decently, it's doable without a car. It's not the most comfortable, I think. There are some places where it'd be easiest to go by car, but it is, for the most part, doable without. I have to go everywhere by car because it's too dangerous to otherwise. Yeah, that can be a concern. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but hopefully they're making strides towards more pedestrian and bike-friendly options and transport or transit, because there's a channel called Not Just Bikes, and the thing he always says is there's no solution to driving. No, there's no solution to traffic, but viable alternatives to driving, and that means getting cars off the road. and making it so that people are more likely to choose some other form of transport. And so hopefully that there has been a trend, at least in my area, for getting that done, and hopefully that's starting to happen elsewhere too. By the way, for any of you not in the Discord, we do have a transport channel where this kind of stuff is on topic. So if that kind of stuff interests you, go ahead and join. Maybe we can restart some discussions in transport. Hi, can I ask a question? You've already asked a question. So I guess the answer is yes, because I had asked for questions. If you would like to ask another one, I guess you can just submit another question in the form that is pinned in the chats. But otherwise, that is all the questions that we have for today. If any of you would like to ask a question and don't care to use the form, you can just ask in the chat. I'll probably wait a few more minutes. But otherwise, yeah, I think that's all we had for today. That is not the right slide. But I guess this means we can go back. So yeah, apologies for the jump scare for anyone who didn't see the full title. But I figured I saw a lot of VTubers doing this clickbait where they say I quit, and then it turns out they're just quitting their job. Hey Forum, welcome in. Yeah, a lot of VTubers do this where they say they quit and then turns out they're just quitting their job. And so this, I figured, was my one chance to do it. And so I did it. Question, have you thought of traveling while you're unemployed? Everyone is telling me to travel. Like, quite literally everyone. So I don't think, if I were to say I hadn't thought of it, that would be an incredible lie. But yeah, the current plans are definitely Offkai, because it's relevant. Maybe Japan, but we'll see about that. So I mean, you can always just lie with your stream titles. So for this one, I think I have the thumbnail on the YouTube side. Actually, I guess the Twitch side wouldn't see it. So let me pull that up. Where did I put this file? I have it in my thumbnails directory somewhere. Wow. Here in thumbnails, pictures, thumbnails. 2025, I quit. There it is. Okay. So yeah, for those of you on the Twitch side who hasn't seen the YouTube thumbnail, this is it. And this AMA actually gets covered a little bit depending on how small the thumbnail is. So you get the I quit in large letters, and you can kind of see my job. So I think it's somewhat effective. That recommendation, Jessica Cosmo Games, welcome in. How you make money? So yeah, that was something that I was thinking about earlier. We had a slide for monetization options, sort of. So the plans are, right now I have enough money to keep me afloat for about a year, so I don't strictly need income. It would be nice to, but obviously the more income that I make now means the more I can push having to go back to work. And maybe this takes off, maybe I don't have to go back to work, and it'll be nice. But so the current plans are maybe look into Patreon, look into Bandcamp. So if people want to pay for the music releases, they can do so. Look into Throne, so that if people want to gift me musical instruments, they can do so. I'm thinking, what was it? I need to get a cowbell for one of the things that I'm thinking of. And a Viber slab would be nice. Launch Penbu coin. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm sure There was Crony Coin a while ago. Actually, I need to catch up on that stream. There was also a suggestion of setting up a coffee. I do have stream elements right now, and I'm gonna send that link again if I can find it. Penbu coin equals stonks, and Penbucks would go hard. You know, Penbucks is a pretty good name. But yeah, so stream elements is an option there as well if you'd like to donate. Obviously, it is optional. I do have the funds keep me afloat, but if you do feel like you want to donate, they would be appreciated. Crony Coin was such a bad. You know, I don't actually know anything about it. I need to go watch that stream. It seems like it was fun, and there was I know Callie had responded to it as well. Get a bunch of buckets and sell them as merch. Penbu merch is another thing. It's been pitched for it's been pitched a number of times. The problem is economies of scale. You need to have people. You need to have enough people buying the thing so that you can make a bunch of the thing, and so that it makes it cheap to make the thing. I think 539 mentioned in his stream go, it's easy to make 2, and it's easy to make 200. It's hard to make 20. So unfortunately, while we can make 2, making about 20, which is probably about where we're at right now, is not economical. Can we do stuff like stickers and other things that are very cheap and easy to print and make? Maybe. I would have to look into that, but that is an option. I can just make 200 and sit on them until they're sold out. That is, that is called keeping stock. And yes, but also I don't want to be shipping things out myself. Although I know, I think Pan the VTuber, the bread VTuber, did do something like that. But yeah, stickers, and I don't know if any of you want to, if any of you have any merch ideas, you can send them in the suggestions channel in Discord. I'm gonna send the Discord link again because why not? But yeah, there's a suggestions channel in there if you'd like to contribute to merch ideas. Because one of my problems is that the only merch that I really buy is plushes, and I will say that on good authority that a Ket marketable plush is extremely viable as a plush. The problem is manufacturing it. But you know, certainly stickers and other stuff that I personally don't really get myself, but I know other people do. So stickers and badges and pins and stuff. Yeah, I don't know what people like. So if you have ideas for things you would like, then we may consider those. I shouldn't be giving advice. I've had a YouTube channel for over a year now and make something like $1 video that took several months. Yeah, it's I don't know. People have different paces on stuff. So I've been going for over a year and I haven't made anything yet. So you're already ahead of me there. There's a certain VTuber company whose 50% of the revenue is coffee. Yes, that would be Face Connect. They're not even a VTuber company. They're a coffee company, as the joke goes. Consumables. That is an option too, I guess. But I feel like that's even harder than just regular merch. Voice packs. I don't know. What would I have a voice pack for? It's not really something that I do. No, I have been thinking of maybe doing like OS themes, but I also need ideas for that too. When a bunch of streamers let you buy coffee over SSH. I do imagine Hololive sell coffee. They have, they actually do sell. They have partnered with an alcohol maker. Was it wine, or it might have been something else? But I know some of the members have had had alcohol bottles with their brand on them. Yeah, I'll go be richer than Elon. I don't know about that, because as much as Hololive is pretty big in the VTuber sphere, in the grand scheme of things, Hololive is still fairly small. Penbu Vocaloid. That would allow me to sing, I guess. I know Eggy was kind of working on something similar. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, I don't sing out of choice. Not because I can't sing, I guess. I haven't really tried in a very long time, but it's not something that I do. Because I ain't selling any coffee, but on a serious note, if you are interested in merch production as a process, me up. I will yeah. I think yeah, we'll talk. You'll get over it someday. Perhaps. We'll see. I have the automaton to sing for me, at least, so there's that. Although I also find that I find it difficult to speak words and keep a tone at the same time. I don't know if that's a confidence thing or if that's just my mind just doesn't work that way. But I can hum and I can speak, but I can't put the two together. But who knows? We'll see. Yeah, Cosmo Gaze, I will keep you. I'll keep you in mind. Okay, let's check the questions now to see if anyone has. Nope, no more questions. Okay. While we're here, I guess I had some tabs open. I had meant to bring this up earlier. There was. I was gonna say that it almost feels in a way that I'm kind of done with software. I don't feel like I'm completely done, so there's still, I'm probably still gonna end up in tech if I do go back to work. But at the same time, it also feels like, do I really want to keep doing this? And I kind of just want to leave it to the younger folks. And there's this article by Raymond Chen on the old new thing. Great blog, by the way, if you're not already following it, where he talks about a former software developer who is now a carpenter. This was back in 2018, and he does woodworking, and he quit software and went into woodworking because people kept changing requests on short notice, whereas in woodworking people want the exact same thing every time. And so, in a way, is very comforting to just have something that you can just do over and over again. Whereas, for those of you who haven't worked in software, or rather, for those of you who have worked in software, you know that things change a lot, and oftentimes in conflicting ways. So I don't know. My dad does a little bit of work on the side. I picked up a little bit of it. I think I did do a course in high school on how to do woodworking stuff, so I have some of the skills. I don't think I would end up going into woodworking, but I think the idea of switching to something that's a little bit less hectic is perhaps somewhat appealing. Software to the middle of the woods pipeline is real. Yeah, there is a point where you get oversaturated with tech that you just kind of distance yourself from it. Next on the list of tabs, we already had this one, and so I guess I'll send this one again. For those of you who weren't in the stream earlier, I am planning on starting a second channel where I do Tetris dailies. Probably won't be daily, at least for a little bit, but at least it allows me to do Tetris stuff that isn't going to flood my main channel. And then tomorrow, we are interviewing the creator of Done It. So Done It is a game that we had played several months ago. Has it been a year already? It's a text adventure game that comes with Emacs. And somehow he found me on Twitter and came into the server, and now we're doing a collab. So we are going to be interviewing him. So those of you on the Twitch side, this will be YouTube only, so you will want to make sure that you catch it on there. YouTube, I mean, this is where you watch anyway, so there it is. Of course, Emacs comes with Emacs comes with a ton of games. It comes with Tetris even, and I do want to play Emacs Tetris at some point on stream. But yeah, it comes with a text adventure game. It's very good. We'll be interviewing him. You can ask questions as well. So if you'd like to ask questions, this is the Q&A form for that. If I can copy link. There we go. There's me doing that, bro. Okay, I'm just gonna check this out. pvvt.ca Q&A orange now. It is nice having a link shortener, so that I can just type things out. But yeah, so if you'd like to ask some questions or send him messages or anything, there already are a few questions in the list. But the more questions we have, the better the stream is going to be. So do ask your questions. This is, I wouldn't say once in a lifetime thing, but it is very, I guess it's a bit of a rare opportunity for this to happen. So yeah, we'll be interviewing him. We'll also probably, if we have time, play a game that is unreleased from a very long time ago. So we will have exclusives. And so yeah, it's definitely a stream to catch. At the same time, I still have it to make a website. It's been, I'll do it eventually for ages. I mean, you know, I guess yeah, it's nice to have a website. I do have one here. penbuvt.ca. This is the old code. We're still working on a new one, but it doesn't even have the essentials actually. I have links to everything, but I need an about page that goes over the lore and has credits and the reference sheets and all that. But yeah, so this will be at the same time tomorrow, so 7:30 Eastern, so roughly in 22 hours. It should be a good time. And then for the rest of the week, next on Friday, I'm going to be taking a bit of a break on Thursday because there's something I need to do. On Friday, we're going to be starting a new composition called One Step Back. In full, that's one step back, two steps forward, not the other way around. Thanks 539 for pointing that out. One step back, two steps forward, as the title alludes to this like this transition that I'm going through. I'm taking a step back, you know, stepping back from work and being unemployed to hopefully push me forward. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. And actually, a lot of the compositions, I'm gonna go pull up the Penbu BT. A lot of the compositions that we had gone through. So the video is here. To you, sure. I mean, I think that was before a lot of the stuff. Make It Through. Make It Through is actually about me, me getting my my portable dishwasher taken away. But this, I during the times where it felt very stressful and hard, I guess, because it tended to be the case that around August, September, October, things would get very very hectic at work, and I would be at my lowest point. I would play this, it helped. It's an uplifting it's a bit of an uplifting, encouraging piece. So, as much as it's technically about dishwashers, it is it is fairly encouraging for me. Looking back, I don't think this actually has anything to do with work, from what I remember. This was more. So I think we started this in July of last year, maybe. So yeah, this one is not really. This one I attribute more to the VTuber anniversary than work. Thank you for all you've done. So this one. I had mentioned that I wasn't going to do anything with this, and then I associated it with something personal, and now I can reveal what that is, because the something personal was my decision to leave. So I was it was a talk after, it was the time after HR, the top of the HR, and then the weekend after I started playing this on the piano, and it just it felt very, I guess you could say it kind of spoke to me, I guess, and I associated it with the decision to leave. So because it is now associated with something so personal as a decision like that, I had to make it into something. And the decision to make it a piano and violin piece duet was a play on me versus the company. I guess as a cooperation of sorts. I know a lot of people are anti-company, and the company is not working in your best interest, and that is to an extent true as well. But having been at the company for so long, and basically being in the fabric of the company, I feel certain ways about it, I guess. And so it's having it as a duet where it's a duet, it just seemed appropriate for the situation that I had in mind. And then waiting, I don't think I'm going to do anything with this because I actually don't have any ideas for it. But this was, when did I do this? The idea behind this one was I was just waiting for my employment to end. 9volt, welcome in. Late to the party, does this mean we're going to get Penbu endurance streams? That is now an option. I don't have any plans for endurance streams, but that is now an option. What would I be, what would I have an endurance stream for? I feel like Tetris is a pretty obvious one. Maybe a composition one too. Go until we finish it. And we have gone almost 6 hours, almost 6 hours at Tetris, and almost 6 hours, 5 hours for composition, so wouldn't necessarily be out of the question. Yeah, so waiting was just me waiting for my employment to end, and then composition endurance stream was interesting. Yeah, I just need to make sure that I have enough ideas to keep it going. And the problem with having an endurance stream for a creative things is that at some point you're going to run out of ideas, and it's at that point that you should try to step away and do something else, and then come back maybe after a couple hours, maybe after a day or something. And so I want to make sure that whatever we do for a composition stream, the results is still something that I'm happy with. And so maybe it's an endurance stream until I run out, but then that's every stream, right? Alternatively, making a beat map for one of your compositions for a rhythm game. That is also an option. I had thought about doing an OSA stream at some point. I'm really not thinking that's going to happen, but you never know. I had tried making a beat map one time. My problem with that is I am not creative enough to lay things out in a way that is fun to play, I guess. Like, it is very easy to map out things that you can hit in time, great, but I don't know. It's a bit of an art doing beat maps. And then yeah, for the new one, for the 1 step back, 2 steps forward, this is the I don't want to say representation, but yeah, this is signifying the transition, basically. I've only made joke beat maps, it's surprisingly hard. Yeah, I've played a few for Oster. There's the I think it's called the 2B beat maps, where you basically have multiple tracks going on at the same time, and as long as you hit the certain hit points, it's still fine. Those are fun. Do I have anything else? I'm gonna check the questions again. Did I already say this? Have I considered traveling? Everyone's been asking that. Yes. But also, I don't know what to do with that. But yeah, at the very least, off Kai. Okay, I think that might be it. We're coming up to about 2 hours. I did not expect to go this long, but I'm not complaining either. So yeah, once again, tomorrow we are going to be interviewing the creator of Done It, the text adventure game that comes with Emacs. I'm going to send the link over again. Pinned in the chat. Again, this is YouTube only, so for those of you on Twitch, you will want to head over there tomorrow. The link to the Q&A form is pinned in the chat, and do ask all your questions, because the more questions we ask, the better the stream is going to be. Okay. Normally we would raid out on the Twitch side, but I think given the nature of today's stream, it's probably best not to. So we're just going to end on both sides. Once again, for those of you who are not in the Discord, you can go ahead and join there. You can join for transport or transit talk, or Tetris, or you know, anything to do with me. Yeah, I think that's it. So expect to see more of me going forward. I'm not quitting from VTubing, so rest assured. Yeah, that's it. Hope we have fun on this ride. So thank you to everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye, chat. Bye. You know, I will say that it doesn't feel quite real yet. It's been feeling like Saturday for the past few days, and it almost feels like I have to go back to work next week, but I really don't. So we'll see how long it takes for this to stop feeling like that. It's probably going to take about a month. Anyway, good night.